Hello, Epic 7. Now, if you clicked on this video because you finished the story, you farmed some gear, you summoned a bunch of fancy looking units, but you're still getting farmed by those pesky, annoying meta units in Arena and RTA, you come to the right place. My name's Valky, otherwise known lovingly in the community as Uncle Valk, and let me tell you what, I have been top 100 in every single game mode in the history of the game, and today I'm gonna teach you how to build your team in PvP in Epic 7. Now, if we do this right, in no time, you're going to be able to farming those meta defense teams, not only in Arena, not only in RTA, but Guild War 2 totally free to play. Let's fly. Now, everyone already knows the fundamental to a turn-based game is the coveted first turn. In Epic 7, that's speed. Speed allows you to go first before your opponent, and that has been an overpower strategy ever since the days of chess. But in Epic 7, according to the progenitor of speed strategies in RTA, Light E7 himself, relying on speed is a very premium strategy. It requires the best units, the best gear, and you even need a little bit of your luck to swing your way just for that win. So definitely not new player friendly. What I'm going to teach you today will be the exact opposite. Instead of playing for speed, we'll opt to build extra HP and defense on our characters and win the game on our opponent's turn. This strategy is commonly known as tank down. True to its name, the core of the strategy is the tank, which we will build our entire team around. The cream of the crop for tanks is Empyrean Ilanav and Bossarunka. These two ladies are so good at their jobs to keep your team alive. Now, if you didn't get them from the Headhunt event that just elapsed, Crimson Armin and Mbound Knight Airwell are really good replacements at lower rarities. There are many other knights that are viable as well, so long as you stack a lot of HP, defense, and be sure to arm them with the Aureus artifact, as the damage transfer mechanic is the main method in keeping slower teams alive in PvP in E7. Each tank has their own specialty, like Empyrean's penetration resistance passive, stopping true damage, Bossarunka walling off single target nukers. Learn what your knights are good at and flex them into their respective combos. This also extends to your supports, such as Lady of the Scale and Ruel working with every single team, but Ruel is particularly adept at sustaining her team against single target threats. Nurse Yolha has synergy with HP scaling bruisers, Mei Chloe can reduce splash damage, and the newly buffed Yen can stack buffs and cleanse debuffs. You want to mix and match your team to be as bulletproof as possible against as many threats as possible. Now, as far as damage dealers, there are so many of them in Epic 7, and honestly, any one of them can get the job done, so long as you're picking in the right matchup. Now, if you're content letting your opponent play the game and just counterattacking them until you win, there is no better choice than Monarch of the Sword Iseria. If you don't have her, good replacements are Setsuka, Charlotte, and Bellion. If counterattacks seem a little bit sus, and that doesn't seem like the right strategy for you, you can play into extra or dual attacks and play off of characters like ML Bologna, the limited Autumn Flawn, or Lethe. If you just want solid units without too many other gimmicks, then your best option for this strategy overall is Genesis Ross, a free unit that everybody should be getting from his event, which is now permanent. And if you don't, well, Freeren if you were here during her collab, ML Aria, and Tori are also solid options. Now, the last member on your team should be pretty flexible, able to adapt your team into a strong matchup while countering the opponent. A good example includes Sea Phantom Politis, ML Luna, Renok, Flagbearer Sigrid, and honestly, there are so many more characters that are good in this spot. The key here is that they want to be relatively high speed and should have some amount of damage or debuffs that serve to disrupt your opponent's game plan. Now, there are way more options than I can list in one video, so if you don't have every character in the video, I highly encourage you to just think of the roles and who could fill them and try them out, as long as you follow this team building blueprint with characters that you do have. And guess what? While you're trying out your roster, you can start planning ahead and pick up these premium characters for your team. After all, making teams yourself is the spirit of Epic 7, and experimenting with your roster while you save up premium units is the process of learning. Just do be careful though, there are a couple of characters you want to avoid with this strategy. That means in Arena and Guild War, you want to just pick a different defense team to attack. You don't have to attack them. And in RTA, RTA, well, you can just outright pre or post ban these characters, and we'll see in a second what that means. Now, these units are Notos, Lady of the Scales, Shepherd of the Dark DN, Witch of the Mere Tenebria, and Mort, but only if you're focusing on counterattacking. So let's bring this deck into RTA and go through the steps of how drafting the strategy works. Here, we have an opponent who is a Warlord rank, meaning we are up against a top 3,000 player in the world. As we said earlier, we want to avoid MLDN as well as the new character Notos matchup, so those will be our pre-bans. Here, our opponent as well bans MLDN alongside School Nurse Yolha. This is a very telling of what they're trying to play. Both DN and Yolha are characters that synergize well with higher speed and high HP characters, so they do not like playing against faster opponents. They're trying to play slow, which is great for us because that's our strategy as well. Our opponent gets first pick, and his first pick is Lady of the Scales. Arguably the strongest character in the game, her ability to both function as a support and turning her front unit into a tank. Definitely deserving of the title of a top tier character. And guys, STTP, remember that, stick to the plan. Here, we're going to pick up the best free-to-play support in the game, Ruel of Light, alongside the best free-to-play tank in the game, Crimson Armin. Now, we could be getting fancy with this, but I wanted to keep things simple and stick to our plan, so we'll just get the best free-to-play units, and getting this core out of the way early in the draft does two things. It establishes the core of our strategy, and it hides our damage dealer from our enemy. And you'll see in a bit why hiding our damage dealer is very important. Our opponent commits his tank, Bossarunka, and ban protects his main damage dealer, Lone Crescent Bologna. This makes her 2 top tier units and a freshly buffed Bruiser who is also very strong. Picking her on 3 for the opponent means I cannot ban this character, so the rest of our strategy need to be able to adapt to this ban protection and guarantee we can play against her without dying to the damage she offers. Here, I'm gonna do the same thing and drop our main carry on 3rd pick ban protect, Monarch of the Sword Iseria. I don't think this is the best option for this spot, but I've been having a lot of fun playing her, and I do want to show you guys, as long as you draft with a plan and you counter your opponents properly, you can win with almost anything you want. Pick 4 is going to be our support in Sea Phantom Politis, who is here for 2 jobs. On top of being able to cut Bologna's fighting spirit in half, she can also set up dual attacks with Monarch of the Sword Iseria at very high speeds. Keep in mind, we do not need her to be very fast for this draft, as her stealth keeps her very safe against our enemy's single target damage. Now, my opponent takes Tori, likely as a way to steal a pick away from me to make sure I don't have an easy way of hitting the Bolognas through her evasion. And DN here stacks a lot of buffs and sustains his team. So now his team's identity is formed, and on paper, it is a strong single target damage team with a lot of buffs, and the buffs keep him sustained and alive and gives him a lot of tempo as well. And now we gotta come up with a way to finish our draft and beat him. The strongest way to fight against this team identity is to remove his sustain, which means we have to ban DN. She gives the most buffs, and she gives probably the most healing as well, which can vary based on her artifact. We will also like a better way to slow down his damage dealers. I think Elvira isn't a bad option here. Her passive will halt Lone Crescent Bologna from her extra attacks completely, which in my mind, if he's going to be 3rd picking her, forces him to ban our last character. And as we predicted, he bans the Elvira, which allows us to ban DN to remove his buffs and sustain. If you want more content on how these drafts work or what logic to use to approach beating different decks, definitely check out E7's myriad of streamers and content creators. They'll save you a lot of time that you would otherwise need to be running these matches yourself and learn through experience. That being said, let's jump right into the gameplay and see how this match goes. Alright, leading off the turn, Sea Phantom Politis gets the first turn, and any chance you get, you want to use these support characters' ultimate, get the unique buff set up, and on top of that, combat readiness pushes our back unit. Seems like his team has good amount of effect resistance here, so we're not really pushing anything back, and Lady of the Scale does allow him to tempo up. Tori immediately gets the Cascade, and she's going to put up buffs for her team. This is attack and speed buff, and it's going to be quite a bit. Single target teams have a huge emphasis on target selection, and he's going to work on Ruel of Light first, but Ruel is really good at dealing with single targets, so self S2, we're going to heal ourselves back, barrier, damage limits, pretty much everything you need. And immediately with the Lone Crescent Bologna turn, he's going to just drop the ultimate, put up the Vigor and immunity buff, and he puts damage into our Crimson Armin. He gets 1 counter attack from the Iseria, and I will say, you know, we did say this was not the best matchup, and the miss on the Lone Crescent Bellona doesn't feel very good. So now we have to decide. We can just take it slow and play this one turn at a time, but I think I want to get rid of this Boss Arunca early, and that's one of the drawbacks of playing Lady of the Scale. That way, no matter what, you're getting rid of the character in front, and Boss Arunca immediately gets sent to Immortality, so he gets to make one move here, and then after that, bye-bye. Drops even more damage on our Crimson Armament. That is our main tank, so the moment our tank goes down, we're going to be eating a whole lot of damage. So, okay, not looking too good. As tanky as Crimson Armament is, if I lose the passive, it's not very good. But guys, the skillful part of playing Ruel of Light is knowing when to hold your skills and when to commit your S3. If you look at the sidebar, the combat readiness bar, Tori is taking a very close turn immediately after with that speed buff. I cannot let Crimson Armament get killed here, so we're gonna need to commit Ruel's ultimate in order to protect our tank. And as an added bonus, it eliminates 2 of our targets from being able to be hit. He needs to attack into Iceria now, and I mean, it's a good chunk of damage, right? But as long as we counterattack at some point, doesn't gotta be now, you know, like, there we go, okay. Little bit of healing from Ruel, counterattack, okay, no, sorry. Bellona's gonna go, ouch. Okay, that takes a lot of our HP. Iceria goes, and there we go. The shield from the counterattack keeps us relatively healthy. Another big decision here is with Crimson Armament. We can use the ultimate by itself, or we can soul burn it again, which comes with the benefit of lowering the cooldown so you can start looping her turns together and it becomes really annoying to deal with. And once again, he gets 2 characters here who they can't really take their turns. One more counterattack takes her out. And now Lone Crescent Bellona just sitting here looking real awkward, like you get one more hit, one more counterattack, and that's why we play this style, guys. Even if he's playing single target characters, at some point, you're gonna be able to hit him. Iceria goes here, and Bellona's low enough that you can just soul burn and drop her off the face of the map completely. And this is where we can start playing kind of easy. Start working on the Tori because he's the only win condition our opponent has left. And the less win conditions they have, they can't win, right? One more set of counterattacks and he's realizing, wait a minute, I'm not dropping any HP off of this guy. I better get out of here.
No room for regret.
Easy money. Okay, on a serious note, there we go though. Through sticking to a consistent game plan with good logic of drafting our units, we've low diffed a top 3,000 player. Now, if you learned the right thing from this video, this is going to be your bread and butter for farming all kinds of wins, not just in RTA, but in Guild War and Arena as well. Simply dodge the defense team that has Notos or MLDN, or whatever problem character that you can't really deal with. You can honestly win so much, and on it, even in quick battle as well. So I hope you guys all confidently try out the strategy in PvP with your characters and test it out with your experience. Really experience the joys of victory and just experimenting. Good luck, stay strong out there. I'll see you guys in a future video.